Okay, my name is David Bohetz. I am the head of operations at ASP, and we are a managed service provider based here in Brussels. So today's session is about how ASP, together with Crowdstrike, has improved the cybersecurity posture of Brussels Airlines. And for that, I have brought a guest, Mehdi.
Yeah, welcome everybody. So I'm Mehdi Masbahi. I'm the head of IT infrastructure and operation at Brussels Airlines. And like David mentioned, I'm here to a little bit testimony on our way implementing Crowdstrike in the past 6 months from now, and actually running quite fine.
So the travel that we have foreseen for today, we'll go through the requirements that Mehdi laid out to ASP and Crowdstrike that we had to meet. We'll elaborate a bit on how did we actually do the migration, then where are we today, and then what is next on the horizon with Crowdstrike and ASP and Brussels Airlines. So when we started, Brussels Airlines has 2 data centers in Belgium that is hosting the private cloud, which is fully virtualized with some physical machines running on a Dell hyper-converged platform, together with a VDI environment based on VMware. That was protected by legacy antivirus, which were all signature-based. We had different consoles to manage them, and we didn't, unfortunately, have any protection for the Linux environment. So that was key for Mehdi that we would include that in the Crowdstrike deployment. On top of that, we did not have any SIEM integration on the legacy antivirus, and there was no ITSM integration either. What was also missing is that we were facing with multiple consoles that we all had to follow, had to track. Now, with the Falcon Crowdstrike platform, we were able to have everything in one console. Also, the MFA support for that console was an important item.
Also, something that is really, really important for Brussels Airlines, it's that we are an African expert in the Lufthansa Group. So we are running a lot of different offices in 17 countries, so almost 36 sites. And as you may aware or not aware, Africa, it's really a complicated place in terms of network, in terms of electricity. Actually, what we think it's granted in Europe. So here, for us, what was really important is that this solution will be working seamlessly in those environments, and especially in the bandwidth part, because you may not know, but for some of the sites, we only operate with 1 meg, which is nothing. And with 1 meg, we are able to sell tickets and do operation on the planes on most of those countries. So Crowdstrike here was actually one of the only solutions for us that was able to cope with such small bandwidth and actually avoid updating the agent like other vendors are doing. Signature Brace, for instance, which was actually a huge amount of bandwidth consumed on those countries. Then there is another requirement that David didn't mention. I'm not going to go into details, but as many of the companies have to deal with compliancy, we are part of the Lufthansa Group, so we do have to comply with a lot of different frameworks. NIS2 is one of them coming up, but we are also selling tickets in our commercial platform, so we have to be PCI compliant. So the solution we have to choose have to be actually able to commit with such compliance framework. Also, here in this presentation, and David said it in the beginning, we are only focusing on servers and the endpoint protection on servers, but for the other part of our environment, we are still assessing going or not on such solution. But I think the recent proof with using Crowdstrike might lead to implement it as well on those environments.
So how did we migrate? At first, we started to do a proof of value because we knew that a POC was not needed, because we knew that the concept actually does work, because we were using Crowdstrike at the ASP hosting platform internally already. What we did with the POV at Brussels Airlines, here we actually validated a wide range of operating systems that they were using, both Windows and Red Hat, on a mixed platform, on-prem, cloud, physical, in different locations, Europe, Belgium, but also in Africa, as Mehdi was mentioning. That was very important for them due to the limited bandwidth that it was consuming. We deployed the agent thanks to the Red Hat Ansible platform to the non-Windows environment. For the Windows environment, we leveraged the SCCM part. What is also important to say is that that agent update is seamless. Next to that, we did the VDI. So with the VDI environment, some antivirus have some challenges with that because it relies on the cloning mechanism of VMware. Now, the Crowdstrike solution agent actually has a unique session idea, so that would allow us to track every individual VDI session from the Falcon platform.
So indeed, the VDI platform for us is really important. VDI is used on our side not for the employees, but mostly for all the customer agents all around the world that we actually have many providers there. But also we use it in critical operations. So in some parts of our network, we use it to do checking, boarding. Also on some other parts of the world, we do sales ticket with it. So for us, we need to secure this environment the same way. It's not a closed network. It needs to be secured the same way as our workplace environment, our server environment. And the thing before implementing Crowdstrike in the templates of our VDM platform is that we are doing it on a hypervisor level, and it was not the same level of security. And this solution was one of the only one for us to really implement a Navy component directly in this environment on the end user level. And that was not possible for other tools we tested. We have tested several ones, and this one was the only one committing with this requirement. Then maybe you want to know how we have implemented it. We did it in two waves, basically two blocks. Wave one, we did implement the agent on the whole server and VDI environment as we stated before. First, only detection mode. So basically the system was looking if there was anything to be alarming us, and we had a human action to take the action or not. Here the intention for us was actually to verify there is no false positive. I think this is something that a lot of people fear when you basically implement a new security solution to not harm your operations. To be honest, that was not the case. We didn't have any false positive, especially, you know, many of the industries, they always have this one or two application that is a little bit not following the best practices, or some end user not really doing the thing how they should be doing it. But for this one, to be honest, he recognized only the legit one. Maybe he missed some, but at this point in time, it didn't create any noise. And then on the second part of the installation, we enabled the prevention mode, and we did it in a mass rollout, taking into account 2 months of analysis. And so far so good. It's implemented since end of January. And David will show you a little bit in details the planning of the implementation of the Crowdstrike Falcon project.
Okay, so we did the implementation over a period of 4 months. That included the POV. That included as well defining all of these requirements. We did the rollout in a phased approach. We started with the non-production environment, of course, in monitoring mode, as Mehdi was saying. When that was running fine, we proceeded in December with the production environment, still remained in monitoring mode. And then we had the end of the year freeze where we could not proceed. Then in January, we started with the VDI implementation, which went very smooth as well. And near the end of January, we switched the toggle where we actually went into the prevent mode, and we've been running like that ever since.
Then I think we shared a lot of feedbacks, how it went at Brussels Airlines, how ISP managed to implement the Crowdstrike product. It went without issues, actually without noises. All alerts we got so far are legit. Where the actions were taken immediately by the Crowdstrike agent. So at this point in time, we are happy with the product, hopefully in the future as well. Because what David didn't mention in the beginning, and it's basically our journey in that direction, and what we did in the proof of value of Crowdstrike, because we have not only tested the AV part, but we did tested basically most of the solutions that you can have as an add-on in the Crowdstrike project. So now we do have Crowdstrike AV on the server environment, but we are already working on having the XDR part enabled. Also, what we were really happy during our testing was the identity part, because it was for us one of the requirements of Brussels Airlines is to have MFA for your workstation as a such. So you cannot log in more in the Windows environment before having an MFA validated, whatever methods. And actually the agent himself can block after you basically connect to your machine with an MFA prompt. So you cannot go in the Windows environment. So it's really way before the application. And this is something we really were looking at, and the identity part is able to do it. And also the analysis, the behaviors that you can see in your ID environment or whatever identity provider you use. We tested ID. And this has given us a lot of insight. Now, we are still in the assessment mode, and we'll see, we'll pursue there. And obviously, there are also many other add-ons that I will leave David to explain you what benefits it can bring.
Thank you, Mehdi. So at ASP, what we are currently looking at is the next-gen SIEM. So we've integrated the next-gen SIEM on the ASP hosting platform, and we actually have a session tomorrow in the same room at the same Windows slot, where we will demonstrate how we actually implemented the next-gen SIEM, onboarded the logs. ASP's SIEM journey already started many years ago, and we've evaluated a lot of SIEMs over the years. What we found on the SIEMs is that it was a lot of effort to build those playbooks, to build those use cases, and really get value out of the SIEMs. It was only until we started with next-gen SIEM a month ago where we were able to onboard logs, do the correlation automatically, and with built-in detection that we immediately gained value. And that we will demonstrate tomorrow what came out of the SIEM only after 4 weeks of having it running, hooking up to our hosting platform. So you're all invited tomorrow, same place, same hour. And I thank you very much. Thank you, Mehdi.
Thank you, everyone.